These days when members of the Northwestern community are talking trash, they're probably not being impolite. More likely, they're going green. That's because issues like waste reduction, recycling, and energy efficiency are major priorities for the university right now. And you might be surprised to learn how this is changing the way things are done on campus.
When you think of going green at Northwestern, you probably think of this. Somebody dropping something into a bin like paper, bottles, or cans.
It's good if we can get the heavy stuff first.
But you probably don't think about other things, like say computers, or construction materials, even food. Strange as it may sound, these are all things that can in one way or another get recycled or repurposed at Northwestern.
I've been working with computer recycle for going on 3 years now.
Carlton's job on campus is to pick up outdated computers. Some get refurbished and donated, others are set aside for recycling.
We have a company that comes from Michigan. They comes and pick the computer equipment up and they recycle it for like the plastic, the metals, the copper and the wires and stuff like that. So everything gets recycled, everything.
Computers are just the tip of the iceberg. Last year at Northwestern, more than 1,700 tons of waste was recycled. That represents 27% of the university's waste stream. The good news, in the past few years, that recycling ratio has steadily been going up.
We're seeing an increase in how much is recycled at outdoor locations, as well as how effective and how clean that recycling is through the use of these containers.
Julie Kaolane runs Northwestern's recycling program. She says part of its success is due to new trash and recycling bins across campus. The old ones look like this. They weren't as well labeled, and sometimes people didn't put the right things into the right containers. The new bins come in threes, one for paper, one for regular trash, one for cans and bottles. With unique lid openings and clear signage, they're designed to get people in the habit of recycling.
You go from point A to point B on campus and you see a couple of these and you start to register and understand, oh yeah, that's the recycling, those are the recycling and trash bins. And it just makes people a little more aware of their surroundings and a little more aware of the recycling program's presence.
To raise consciousness further, Julie organized an event with students last spring called Mount Trashmore. Mount Trashmore was a daunting pile of refuse on campus. It represented the waste Northwestern generates in just 6 hours.
So to visually see the impact of our trash and how big of a mountain we create in a designated time frame was a good visual reminder and a good education opportunity for us.
Here's Mount Trashmore, all of the waste that participating Northwestern students have generated in the past week. A lot of it is typical things like here's a bag from Cheetos, a can from some Coke that someone had. I think the goal of this too is to see the amount of things that we would normally throw in the trash, but that perhaps we can change and recycle more.
The message of conservation is also making its way to the campus's dining halls. Here, managers are experimenting with what's called trayless service. That means no trays, just plates. In other words, not as much room to pile on food. The idea? To encourage students to take less and throw away less.
So it's helped us reduce the amount of food waste. It's helped us reduce the amount of intake of food of which people are over-consuming a lot of times on college campuses. But it was very successful in the spring, and now we're going to opening up in 2 of our dining facilities for this fall.
Another way to reduce food waste is to actually make it smaller. This machine is called a pulper dehydrator. It mashes food waste, then sucks the water out. In the end, the volume of what's discarded shrinks by as much as 80%. But food conservation is not just about what you throw away. It's also about what you save. Campus Kitchens is an organization dedicated to using leftovers. Because the dining halls work with such high volume, 2.8 million meals a year, Campus Kitchens can take food that might otherwise be discarded. They serve up 50,000 meals a year to people in need.
And so by taking this food that the university can't quite make into a meal the next day because it's a small amount to them, we can take a pan of lasagna or a pan of chicken and feed 30 or 60 people from that, whereas their volume is significantly more than what we put out.
Student volunteers get a lot out of it. The university enjoys it. I mean, it's a way to, save waste. It's a great program because the beauty of it is that all these resources exist, and we're just, finding a way to make them all work together.
One food item that can be reused for a whole new purpose is vegetable oil. Aaron Greco is a mechanical engineering PhD candidate. He's developed a generator that runs on leftover vegetable oil. His immediate goal? To use this conservation technology to power a transit bus. Aaron estimates if he collects all of the waste oil on campus, he'll have enough fuel for one bus over the course of a year. The university wants to put Aaron's plan in motion.
In our project, we're focusing on, the amount of diesel fuel we're using to bus students around, and how much waste vegetable oil we're putting out of the system. So if we can close that loop, use that vegetable oil to fuel the buses, then we have, in a sense, made a more sustainable system for the campus.
Northwestern is looking for other green savings. Consider this new rooftop at the Athletic Center, a white composite that deflects heat and cuts down on air conditioning costs.
It reflects the sunlight's rays as well as it bounces the heat off. It does not absorb the heat as a darker color would.
But get this, the old roof was recycled.
We were able to take the river rock and send that to a landscaper. It didn't go to a landfill. And then the insulation was sent to an insulation company where they melted it down and reused that product. So that also did not go to a landfill.
In fact, the whole idea of increasing energy efficiency in buildings is a big focus. This is the new green dorm on campus. In the dorm's 6 bathrooms, plumbers are installing low-flow heads for the showers and water-conserving handles for the toilets.
The flush head handles on all toilets will be a green handle, and when you pull up, you're going to save a half gallon of water per flush as opposed to the 1.6 gallon per flush. There's approximately 6 bathrooms in here with 6 toilets, 6 showers, and I want to say 9 sinks. So overall, we'll save a substantial amount of water.
Across campus, the university is in the middle of an energy audit, trying to find ways to use energy only when it's needed.
Lights in bathrooms or a vending room or a laundry room don't need to be on all the time. So if you can put them on an occupancy sensor, when a person walks in the room, the lights come on. When they leave the room, the lights go off. So they're not burning all day and all night. So that saves us cost.
In the end, a bunch of recycling and refuse bins on campus are really a symbol of a whole new way of thinking at Northwestern. It's the idea that by increasing awareness and taking a series of steps towards conservation, Northwestern can be part of sweeping change that will have global impact.
And one of my goals is to tie recycling to the bigger picture, to global warming, to carbon emissions. And by reducing our waste, we can affect those numbers and what's generated and what's caused by our campus activities.